You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva, and knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. I hope everybody had a wonderful, pleasant Thanksgiving. I pray that everybody was able to safely travel to and from, if you did travel successfully. I pray that you made it home safely. Nevertheless, I also hope that everybody was able to enjoy spending time with family and friends, because I tell y'all, we are living in some very fragile times in which a lot of people are losing their loved ones. So it's very imperative that we don't take spending time with one another for granted. So nevertheless, y'all, I've been spending time with my family. My daughter particularly caught me off guard. I did not know she was going to be flying in. And she did. So, of course, I had to dedicate a lot of time with her. My daughter's in the service. So, I try to make sure anytime she's in town that I fully dedicate that time to her. So, I actually had plans to do my content. But when my daughter came down, my baby came, I had to make her that priority. But nevertheless, she got back safe. So, I definitely wanted to go into today's sermon, today's content. Now, I want to start off with this scripture in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. You should know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be very difficult times. For people will love only themselves and their money. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. Also, 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5. Know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to their parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. So, y'all, I would definitely say 2023 is going out with a bang when it comes to exposure. It's been a lot going on. I'm sure y'all been keeping up due to the wonderful sisters I'm blogging, like Caramel Rail, True Tea, Black Titanic, Chit Chat with True Tea, all of these ladies, that's always reporting the news, keeping us up to date with everything that is going on in the celebrity world, within the industry. So there's been a lot of exposures. R. Kelly was definitely one of the biggest men within the industry that we never imagined would finally actually have to serve time for his actions. And we've been hearing for years about a lot of things that R. Kelly was doing. And, as always, he seemed to always dodge a bullet. It would come up and then somehow it would be swept from up under the rug until eventually it came to a head in which, you know, the law had to get involved and had to execute and actually go through with giving him time. And as we know, R. Kelly is serving a 20-year sentence. I think it's probably a little bit more. I'm not certain. But he, like many of the men within this industry, felt invincible, felt powerful, felt defeated, as if they could never be touched. And the whole bottom line is a lot of these men came into the industry abusing their power with the fact that they have a lot of underlying demons, a lot of underlying sicknesses that they never would acknowledge, because they were always able to fulfill their sick, perverse, demonic deeds, because they always had the money and the power and the celebrity status to do so. And whenever you are very powerful within the industry, you have what's called a lot of yes men. People who see you doing things unethically, immorally, and no one will check you because no one wants to lose their job. In the worst case, nobody wants to lose their life. And which brings me to my very next point with Puff Daddy, who had to pay a former artist of his, Cassie, I believe $30 million, due to her accusations of him aping and basically assaulting her, you know, during the duration of them being involved during her career as being signed as an artist with Bad Boy. And she finally had decided to take matters in her own hands and not be fret and not be afraid of the repercussions that could possibly come behind Diddy's wrath, because we all know allegedly he has something to do with his baby mother's, Kim Porter, being unalive due to the fact everybody knows she was going to put a book out. Not only Kim Porter supposedly got allegedly unalive by Diddy before she was getting ready to put this book out, exposing everything about him. A lot of artists within his circle somehow, some way, ended up unalived. Heavy D, you know, who was part of his circle with Andre Harrell, you know, Heavy D was getting ready to put a book out. He became unalived. Andre Harrell became unalived. Biggie became unalived. A lot of the last situation where the guy who confessed to unaliving Pac basically stated that Diddy was also involved in that. So it seems and it appears that everyone that's involved in some form or another with P. Diddy, they end up unalive if A, they plan on exposing him, or if B, they are trying to get from up under him and away from him, you know. Either way, anybody who ever crosses Diddy in any shape or form, he is going to make sure he gets the upper hand one way or another. And he's always been known for that. However, he's dodged a lot of bullets every time it came close to him getting exposed. He's been paying people. Paying people out, paying people off. Recently, he paid Cassie off, which definitely made him look worse. You know, Diddy thought he was going to solve the problem and make it go away by paying Cassie. And in actuality, it just made people really look at him in a different light, because you have all these sponsors, these brands, people who have been in partnership with Diddy, who have investments with Diddy. The fact that he did not completely clear himself and say, no, I'm not settling. No, I'm not going to pay my way out of this. No, I am going to fight for justice and prove that I absolutely did not do this. This is not in my character. This is not what I'm known for. So he did not rebuttal it. He did not debunk it. What he did was paid it off. And what it did was it just really made people question his character. Even more so to the point Macy's put the plug on him and stopped selling Sean John items, which I didn't even know, honestly, his clothes were still even popular like that and being sold at these high-end retail stores. Also, he has a beverage company that's going to pull the plug on him as well. So kind of like Kanye West. Kanye West had lost all of these endorsements, once he started putting himself out there. It wasn't as controversial as Diddy, but we do know that these companies, these businesses, these people who sponsor you, it happened to Tiger Woods. Once all of that came out, with all these multiple women he'd been with, and the fact that he was exposed for committing adultery on his wife Elin, Tiger Woods lost a lot of huge endorsements. I remember Gillette being one of them. He had a lot of sponsors, and keep in mind, I know a lot of y'all may look at it like, well, shit, they don't care. Why would Diddy, why would Tiger Woods, why would these men in the industry care if they lose sponsors? After all, they are millionaires, right? They are billionaires, right? I mean, what big deal if Macy's stopped selling Sean John's clothes? That's not going to hurt him, right? You have to understand, these men in the industry that are used to being powerful and winning at everything, they don't like losses. No matter how big or how small, they don't like losses. And most importantly, they don't like exposure. So just the fact that Cassie had opened this case, and to add insult to injury, he paid it off versus fighting to clear his name. No, he thought he could make it go away by paying Cassie off, and even though that was to her benefit, which she righteously deserves that much after experiencing all of that trauma as a young woman and getting taken advantage of by Diddy, she deserves to be compensated. However, this does not make him look good. So what has happened is he's opened a can of worms. You have other lawsuits that have transpired. Not only that, other people within his circle, lawsuits are being transpired against them. We have Aaron Hall, whom he was very much close to, have a lawsuit, people gunning for him now. Anybody who's ever been in the circle with Diddy never knew, but R. Kelly and Diddy was also very close. So at this point, it's not a good look. Okay, like I said, I can't give y'all every single detail on every single lawsuit, but I will say this much. Ever since he paid Cassie off, now you have all kind of people coming out. Now, not only that, somebody's also gunning for, let me see, I think, was it one of his, is somebody on his staff. Is somebody on his staff that was also accused too of also assaulting other women as well. Other women are coming forth as well. Harv Pierre, and I remember he was on Making the Band. I remember him, but a lawsuit comes days after Diddy had already just settled his ape allegations and sex trafficking and abuse allegations from Cassie. Now you have other women coming at other men who are associated with Diddy or who have worked for Diddy. So it's not looking good, and it just goes to show there's a price when women get involved with these narcissistic high value men. Now, let me explain what's a high value man. A lot of you ladies probably don't keep up too much with the manosphere and a lot of these male content creators that have created this theory, this term of the high value man, which basically insinuates that a man that is very well financially established, well off, just based off of his finances, not so much his morals, not so much his respect for women, but the high value man is perceived to be a man of value, basically based off the fact that it makes a lot of money. And there's this conception that a high value man should be able to pick and choose what he wants, even if it means going against the grain, even if it means going against his morals, even if it means going against the respect of other women. And that's just my personal intake on it. High value man may mean something else, but it really boils down to how much a man sees his worth based off of his success and his money. And that's what it boils down to. And we all know you don't have to have money to be considered valuable. Not to say that a man should settle for being broke and a dusty and take advantage of women, but what I'm saying is money does not compensate for you being a man. A man is a human being who values his integrity, who works hard, who provides, takes care of his family, and he's willing to go out there and work hard and do whatever it takes and not make choices in which can jeopardize him from him being able to provide and take care of his family or whatever. So we place too much emphasis on money, and that's a problem. And that's why you have a lot of these men with money that are out of control, that think that they are invincible, and who have taken advantage of a lot of young women over the years. Basically, they know how to basically pick out the weakest link. A lot of these men in the industry, Diddy knew how to scope out certain women, and so did certain females. So did R. Kelly. So does Blueface. So does Kanye West. A lot of these men within the industry, they know what kind of women to go for. And most of the time, they go for women that are younger than them. Very rarely are you going to catch men like Diddy and R. Kelly, men within the industry that's going to select women that are their age or older. They rather get somebody who's young and thirsty for fame, thirsty for stardom. They know how to scope out certain women, and they know how to pick up women that come from poverty-stricken situations. They know how to pick up young women who are not close to their fathers, not close to their families. They know how to get close to these young women, learn their upbringing, learn their circumstances, and learn how to capitalize off of that for their own benefit. And that's what Diddy did. Diddy knew how to capitalize off of Cassie, knowing she wanted to be famous, wanted to be successful, and that is the biggest thing that they capitalize off of. They love females who thirst for fame, who thirst for acceptance, who thirst for love, and most importantly, thirst for a lifestyle. I mean, when you are a young woman, and you're not even 20 years old yet, and you come from poverty, you come from the struggle, and here it is, this successful, famous, wealthy man approaches you. It gives you that sense of superiority, the fact that he's willing to talk to you versus all of the other women who very well could have also gotten that type of attention. But just the fact that he chose you already makes a young woman who does not know better believe that she's special. That is something about her she has that he does not see in other women. And what she's not understanding is that he sees her vulnerability, he sees her gullibleness, he sees that she's naive, and most importantly, he sees the thirst. He knows a lot of these older men, a lot of these industry men know that women want to be on their shoulders, that women want to be a part of their empire, and they capitalize off of that. We've seen Kanye West be with multiple women. Amber Rose, I forgot the Victoria's Secret model he was with. He was with multiple women, until he finally made his way to getting married to Kim Kardashian. And he's always had this ego. And that's the biggest issue with a lot of the men in this industry, is they have ego. So the purpose of me going into this content is because a lot of these women have to understand there's a price of getting involved with a narcissistic, high value man. It's a lot that comes with dealing with them, and I get it. No woman wants a broke man. No woman wants a man who does not have his sugar honey iced tea together. No woman wants to be involved with a man who's financially struggling and still trying to find himself. And I totally understand. I agree with that. But the biggest problem that a lot of women make is that They become so overly infatuated with the lifestyle that the man lives than they are with that man's true character. You cannot become so consumed on the lifestyle that you will overlook this man's character. And a lot of women have paid the price for doing with that. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Very successful boxer. I mean, undefeated, wealthy, billionaire. And every woman who has ever gotten involved with him, he has dogged them. He has not married any of them, wifed any of them. He's always perceived women as an accessory, like he does his gold chains, like he does all of his luxury vehicles. You have to realize, a lot of these men in the industry, they see women as accessories. Okay? The women are toys. You have to realize these men have a lot. They have a lot of luxury cars. They live in big, beautiful houses. They are used to having the best. So there's this ego of whatever I want, I should get. And they pay for women just like they pay for cars, just like they pay for houses, just like they pay for jewelry. Women have become just another accessory, another commodity, just another form of entertainment for a lot of these men. They're not linking up with these women because they want to wife somebody eventually. They want to build something eventually. We have seen Diddy be with multiple women. We have seen him have multiple children, like Nick Cannon. Be with multiple women, have multiple children. Only difference was Nick Cannon did marry once, but Diddy didn't marry at all. And from the looks of it, Nick Cannon is not going to marry again. Nick Cannon only married Mariah Carey because he was young and dumb, and Mariah Carey was Mariah Carey. He was infatuated with the fact that a star, a woman of big status, chose him. Out of all the men she could have chose, she selected him. And once he got used to the perks of being with Mariah Carey, he pretty much unplugged from that. He left that relationship and, started going out there wilding out, literally, with all type of women. And that was his way of rebelling, of feeling free that he no longer had Mariah in his claws, because Mariah was one of them women that was not going to play the radio with him. She gave him rules. She gave him restrictions, like a wife who wants her marriage to be solid should do. And Nick started rebelling to the point to where Mariah Carey had to go ahead and just divorce that and call it quits, because he was making it unbearable. Nick was too young and too childish to even deal with a woman on like Mariah on her status. Now that he's older, I'm sure he sees it differently, and maybe he wish he could have done things differently, but his ego and the fact that a man has all his money and success, he has a lot of variety. And the problem is, when you have a lot of variety and all the options, you intentionally find fault in everything. You find fault in everything. You'll come up with something where she's too clingy. I can't marry her because she's too possessive. You'll find something to come up with, because the truth of the matter is, you don't want a relationship. And I think that's the problem. That's the thing that a lot of women find out getting involved with these narcissistic high value men, with these industry men. They're not understanding. You can be with them and they only allow you to have access to certain things of theirs as long as you're complying and doing exactly what they want you to do. The moment you go against the grain, you start bucking, you start becoming too demanding, that's when you start having problems. That's when these dudes really get to acting up on you. They remind you of how insignificant you are and how quickly you can easily be replaced. Blueface does that between Krishan and Jaden. When one does not comply, he'll get with the other and use the other one to make the other one mad. This has been his game for years. And you have a lot of industry men who play this game. And again, women are just objects. Women are toys. Women are just accessories. Women are accessories like they cars, like they jewelry, like they whatever other things they buy for luxury. Women are just luxury items, okay? That's all they perceive them as such. So when you become so infatuated with men who have money, and that is all you look at, their money, you don't look at their character, you don't look at their morals, you don't look at their background, their track record of how they have dealt with women. Are these relationship guys? Are these men who have multiple baby mamas like Floyd Mayweather, like Nick Cannon, but never been married, never been married, except, Nick was married once. But you get my drift. You have to look at their track record of they was married. How long did they stay in that marriage? How many times have they been married? This is something you have to consider, because this is what happens. Again, a lot of these men, they scope out and they select, they choose broken women. They choose women that they know are in the struggle, because women that are financially well off or have just as much as them, they know they're not going to be able to get away with as much. Okay, so they'll pick a regular Bukisha, pick me Pikisha. They'll pick an ordinary female who they know don't have much, and they know it does not take much to win a woman over that's not used to having a lot. And they know how to capitalize off of that. And that's the biggest advantage when it comes to younger women, because most young women don't have enough experience with being able to higher their standards as much, because they haven't been out there a whole lot. They're just kind of learning the industry, learning the person that come with it. And you have men like Diddy who capitalize off of that. He knew Cassie knew nothing about that world like he did. So a lot of them, they scope out the weak. They scope out who they feel is the most vulnerable, who is slow, who do not know the industry. And what they do is they take these young women up under their wing. R. Kelly did it with Aaliyah. Rest in peace. They pick up these young, attractive women, not only to introduce these young women to things that they know average dudes have not had the chance or the abilities to be able to expose them to this high luxury life, but they also want to use these young women to their advantage. The key to it is a lot of these men want younger women because they want to be the first to introduce them to certain things sexually or financially that they know other men have not had that advantage. It gives them that extra one up. It makes the young woman feel as if, she has her prize. A lot of these men in the industry, they know how to soup these women up. You soup young women up with materialistic things. They know how to buy them clothes, buy them shoes, buy them jewelry, buy them cars, and make them feel special. And what happens is a lot of these young women don't understand. There's a lot that comes with the territory. In the words of Cher from that movie Mask, if you take a man's money, then you have to take his sugar honey iced tea, and y'all get the rest. So this is the part that a lot of these industry men do not, industry ninjas, they do not tell these women. They get these young women emotionally involved with them, sexually involved, and 9 times out of 10, once a woman has become sexually involved with a man, she has already created soul ties. There's already an attachment there. So it's even more difficult to pull away or disattach yourself from a man who has sexually done things with you that you have never experienced with other men, especially if he's good at what he does. And while you're being intimate with this man as a young woman, you thinking it's special and it's all about you, but in actuality, it's really all about him. He knows how to please you just enough to make you think you're winning, but in actuality, he is the one that is benefiting from this way more than you. So while you're happy with the Lamborghini and the shopping sprees, at the end of the day, he's giving that to several other women. You know, that's the thing about it. He's giving you money, but you're not the only woman he's giving money. He's giving money to all women. He's buying cars for all women. Diddy bought all his women cars. Okay? So while Cassie might have felt at the time that she was getting this royal treatment, Diddy was putting all his women in beautiful homes, buying all of them beautiful cars. So she wasn't getting anything that other women wasn't already getting out of Diddy, you know. And that's what a lot of women in the industry, no different than Blueface. Blueface has given Jaden and Krishan, both have gotten money. Both both have gotten fame. Both have benefited. And yet one is looking at the other like, you dumb, you slow. He's getting over on you. He's not getting over on me. And actually, I'd say he's getting over on both of you. Because both of them have said that they both come from poverty. Jaden said that, and Krishan said that. So that was already a red flag for me. Okay, he intentionally picks up women who he knows are in the struggle. So that keeps them at bay from leaving him, because they don't want to go back to that struggle. They don't want to go back to that poverty. They don't want to go back to, living with their moms or whatever in the projects in the 2-bedroom or whatever. And I'm not knocking anybody who stays in the project, but once you done got accustomed to a man introducing you to a certain lifestyle, it's very hard to transition and to go back to nothing. And a lot of these men, they know that. So I wanted to just kind of break down the elements of, what are some of the things that you need to consider and keep in mind when you decide to get involved with these narcissistic high value men. Realize this. The first thing is, like I mentioned earlier, you take their money, you got to take their crap. These men know how to keep women at bay. They basically pimp you, and Diddy, with all due respect, Diddy was pimping Cassie. And it's a lot of women out there that are getting pimped from these industry dudes. And it's more than one way to be pimped. Allegedly, he had other people running trains on her. I'm not sure how true that is, but I know he definitely pimped her financially. I'm sure he gave her things, then took it back. When she got mad or got an attitude, he pimped her emotionally. He probably would say things to her. This is what these narcissistic men do. I done met women better than you. I got women that look better than you, that want what you got. But I chose you. I could have been with anybody. So you should be grateful that I chose you. They look at stuff like that. Basically, they play on your self-esteem, because the truth of the matter is, these guys, as conniving and malicious as they are very strategic when it comes to being able to manipulate women. They know that because of their celebrity status, because of their money, their popularity, that other women desire them. And they don't have a problem constantly reminding you of that, which is what keeps a woman who already lacks low self-esteem. It pretty much keeps her at bay, and that's to his advantage, because he can always remind her that, hey, you should be grateful that I'm even putting you on, that I'm even buying you these Prada bags, giving you the luxury VIP treatment, you getting all of the celebrity chick benefits. You get what I'm saying? So they remind you of that, especially if they know you come from poverty, especially when they know you're not used to getting nice things, and if they know you are in a situation in which you're not really close to your family, you're not really close to your father, you're not really close to your mom. They capitalize off of knowing any issues, personal issues that you have going on in your life. And I'm sure Diddy used that to his advantage with Cassie, you know what I'm saying? And he capitalized off of it. A lot of the men in the industry do. And another big piece of the puzzle is a lot of young women who aren't protected by their parents. This is a big advantage for men in the industry. As much as a lot of these people want to come for R. Kelly, let's keep it a buck. A lot of these parents was pimping their own daughters out just so their daughters can have that 15 minutes of fame with R. Kelly. You know, with all due respect, I'm not sure how Aaliyah's parents felt so comfortable with Aaliyah constantly traveling and being with R. Kelly, and they was not always there. Money clouds people's judgment, and I'm gonna say allegedly. Out of respect for Aaliyah's family. Maybe they were there, but you can't keep your eye on every single thing. But nevertheless, money clouds people's judgment. We're in a world where people are so oblivious to people who make money. You can't think that because there's this man who's a star and he makes money, that your child is safe in their care. That it's okay with you leaving your child, your young daughter, alone to be mentored with them. No more than I don't trust my child being left alone with a pastor. I don't care if he's been over leadership of the church I used to go to for 20, 30 something years. Power, prestige, and money. Power and money makes people feel safe. A lot of people felt safe leaving their children with R. Kelly. A lot of men in the industry, like Diddy, they know how to woo these parents. If y'all remember that movie, What's Love Got to Do with It? And remember how Ike Turner was wooing Tina Turner's mother and how he gave her money just so Tina Turner's mother, she was no Anime in the movie, just so Anime's mother would feel comfortable with Ike Turner taking Tina before she became Tina Turner, she was Anime. So Ike Turner was basically bribing Anime, who eventually became Tina Turner, but he was bribing Anime's mother with money, with gifts, to the point that even in the movie, when Tina Turner's safety, was in jeopardy, when she was getting physically abused by Ike and she wanted to take off and leave and take her boys with her, her mother threw her under the bus. Why? Because Ike Turner always supplied and took care of her mom. So you'll be surprised how many mothers will throw their daughters up under the bus. How many parents, how many fathers will also throw their children up under the bus just so they can get in the money. Money will make people compromise their integrity. It'll make people bend their morals. It'll make people compromise on their beliefs and their principles. Money has a way of doing that. You have to realize when you get involved with these narcissistic, high-value men, they know that their money is going to always open doors for them. And they know if they can talk a good game and make that parent think that, hey, I'm going to take care of everything financially. You'll never have to worry about your rent. You'll never have to worry about your car note. It's sad, but you do have some parents. All parents are not good parents. They will throw their own children under the bus. They will, okay, well, you can take my daughter with you for a couple of months, on tour, and for you not to be there, not for you to be present, that gives these ninjas a big advantage in being able to turn your daughters out and do whatever they want to do to them. So the other element of being involved with the narcissistic high value man is that they are very, very controlling. You're not going to get a man's money and not have to deal with the mess that come along with it. Once they give you money, you give them power. They both come hand to hand. A lot of these women were miserable. They don't want you making yourself available to anybody else in the industry. They want to be the only ones who can constantly have access to you. Cassie was never with any other guys, any other dudes in the industry. We never heard of her with anybody during the time when she was with Diddy. R. Kelly. We never heard of Aaliyah dating anybody till much later on as she got older. She started dating Damon Dash. But a lot of these men in the industry, they make it to where they make your life so confined to them that if you were to try to move on, they will literally give you hell. A lot of these industry men, they have a lot of pull. They can block avenues for you, and they will let you know this. Diddy had a lot of pull. No different than Blueface. Blueface has a lot of pull to a big degree, and because the music industry is so male dominant, it doesn't take much for men to look out for other men and will not work with you based on the strength that they that the industry dudes you've been kicking with done already put the bug in the ear for nobody to work with you. And it's the male code, it's a bro code, it's an ego code, where a lot of these women stay confined to these industry men. They're not allowed to really move on and date other guys. They're not really allowed to work with other guys. Cassie was not able to go to another record label. A lot of these men, they know how to have a hold on you. I mean, same thing with Kanye West. Only difference was him and Kim was married, but he took it upon himself, took all of her clothes out of her closet. I think he donated it or sold it, and he changed her whole wardrobe, and he put in everything he wanted her to wear. This is the part about getting involved with a high value narcissistic man. That's why you got to be careful going after men with money, because when men with money, not only can they give you the best of everything, but they got a lot of power to give you the worst of hell. And if your money ain't stretching like theirs, if your money is not long as their money, they can get away with a lot of stuff. These men in the industry, they got pulled with the law, they got pulled with lawyers, they got pulled with the judges, they have pulled within their hometown. Everybody knows them. They know a lot of people from the inside that you being an average woman by no means will have no way of being able to reach on your level. A lot of these men in the industry, they get away with a lot because they have the money and they have the clout. They got the cash and they have the clout. And they have the celebrity status. This is the part, this is the catch-22 that you got to be careful about when you're getting involved with men, millionaire men, industry men. Yes, you're going to have the perks to the celebrity life. You'll be able to go to the VIPs. You'll be able to get front row tickets. You'll get a lot of people catering to you because of who you're with. But the thing about it is you're going to be miserable because you have to constantly put up this united front, smile every time you're with this man, not really show your misery, because if you do, you're going to pay for it. Either when y'all leave this extravagant event, he's going to physically put the paws on you, or he's going to verbally curse you out like a dog and belittle you in every way possible to tear you down and destroy you, or possibly both, but physically and verbally and mentally and emotionally abuse you all at one time. You have to realize men with money are very controlling. I know I had actually a close family member of mine who was close to me only through the connection of her dating my cousin. She was dating my cousin, who at that time was selling drugs. He called himself a dope boy or whatever, a corner boy or whatever. But anyway, my cousin started getting really heavy in the game and was making a lot of money, selling marijuana and stuff like that. And of course, we know when it comes to being out there in that type of lifestyle, there's only two ways you is going to end up: death or in jail. And of course, he ended up in jail and ended up in prison doing a lot of years. And this was after they had a little girl together. So she ended up having to raise this child on her own because, my cousin trying to make quick, fast money so he could live up to her expectations. And not only that, he just did not want to work. Once you get used to that quick and fast money, waiting on the paycheck every 2 weeks just don't cut it. So anyway, nevertheless, while he was incarcerated, there was a certain comedian, whom I shall not name, who came in our hometown area that night to perform. He's a very well-known comedian, He has his own talk show, and a lot of y'all are probably very great fans of his. I'm not, for one, because I know the evil side of him that a lot of you will not really get to see, because y'all only see him as the comedian and the funny radio show hostess, and every once in a while he wants to talk religionified, and he'll give his little inspirational quotes. But nevertheless, she met him during the duration of him coming down here doing the comedy show. They linked up, hooked up, and she had started dating him. And things got serious, got from one thing to another. In fact, they got so attached, he became like a father to my cousin's daughter, and her little girl, my cousin's daughter, became attached to him in a good way. As far as I know, it was nothing inappropriate. But over time, when the nice guy mask started wearing off, she began to discover that she was really dealing with the demon. She went after this man for money, not because he was the finest man or the most good-lookingest man, but because of his celebrity status and the fact he was this well-known comedian and radio show hostess. Well, he wasn't doing a radio show at that time, but he was doing a lot of going on tour a lot, doing a lot of comedy shows. And she ended up finding out that dude was really a monster. Things got really ugly between the both of them, and it was only a matter of time, because she always had gold tendencies. And I think because he's an average comedian guy, he's not very attractive. The fact that she was young and pretty, he basically, became infatuated with the note of her being young and pretty. So him being older, not that attractive, but he's very popular, well-known, well-respected comedian. He used that to his advantage. And because she knew she was very pretty, and he probably never been with a female as pretty and attractive as her, she used that to their advantage. So, in the words of Pastor Jakes, anytime a relationship is developed off an agenda, a hidden agenda, it's not going to last long. And that's exactly what happened, because they both had an agenda. She was about his money, and he was about her looks. And they got so bad to the point to where the relationship got really, really toxic, and they did marry, and they ended up having a little boy together. So he bonded with the daughter she already had, and then they had a child together. He even ended up doing, he ended up doing a reality show eventually, but only a couple of seasons or whatever. But anyway, back to the point. She found out how crazy he was. This man allegedly went so far as to, he planted drugs in her car to set her up. That's how bad he wanted to ruin her. I mean, she really found out, she thought getting involved with a man that had money, having a child from him, that she was going to be able to get all of these perks and special treatment, getting involved with him because he was a successful comedian and he was making a lot of money. And she found out when he couldn't have his way with her and he couldn't manipulate her, or she started rebelling, he brought out all the demons to the point to where she could have possibly went to jail. Had a strange change of fate not worked out in her favor, where the police didn't catch anything, but she could have been doing life, in prison, because this man planted drugs in her car. You have to realize these men have a lot of pull. And even though it sounds exciting, being with a millionaire, being with a billionaire, and not to say that you should settle and deal with a bum, but don't be oblivious to the fact that some of these men with money, when they get evil, they got a lot of leverage to destroy you because they know a lot of people. And he darn near almost ruined her. He almost ruined her. And to this day, he still kind of controls things. He has custody of my cousin's daughter. You know, he changed her last name. You know, and righteously so. Of course, my cousin been in and out of the correctional facility, but you know, he became very territorial, and a lot of these men with money, they are very territorial. You notice Kim Porter, she never had a boyfriend. You know, even though we've seen Diddy bring multiple women around her, and there was absolutely nothing she can do about it. You know, she had all of these children from him, thinking that something somewhere would eventually break and it would just be the both of them. A lot of these industry dudes are not easy to please. They're not easy to satisfy. They get bored with one woman easily. And I always say this, that I believe a man is only as faithful as his options. You know, when a man has that many options like that, the less chances of him being faithful. I believe a lot of these industry men, the industry makes them, it tarnishes them. It tarnishes how they perceive love, how they perceive marriage, how they perceive sex. I think it really pollutes and contaminates. I think all the fame and the success gets the best of their ego, and it makes them very jaded in how they perceive things. They don't think they got to respect women, because women become discardable to them. When they tired of them, they just get rid of them and pick up another one. Women who don't fall in line, who don't comply with the rules, you know, they will make their life miserable. I really believe Kim Porter went through a lot of Diddy doing what he wanted to do, and there was absolutely nothing she could do about it. Yeah, he put her in a big old pretty home. He brought her nice cars and stuff. That's what these men think. A lot of these industry men think as long as they give you things, they don't have to give you respect. They don't have to give you loyalty. They don't have to give you commitment. And that's the thing. When you allow yourself to easily be bought, in the beginning, you may be okay with that. But after a while, once you done got used to all those bags he done bought you, once you done got used to the shopping sprees, once you done got used to the Bentley and the Escalades and all the exotic cars and all the exotic trips, and you realize nothing else meaningful is going to come behind it. It brings you a strange sense of unworthiness. You know, it starts to dawn on you, yes, I'm getting everything. I have a beautiful home. I got beautiful children. I'm not struggling for anything emotionally or financially. Well, no, I'm not struggling for anything financially, but emotionally I'm struggling because this man will not commit to me. Yes, he makes sure I don't want for anything, but every time I turn around, he's posted up on the front cover magazine with another female, or he's on the red carpet taking pictures with other women and acting like I'm just a prop. Kim Porter had to go through years of dealing with Diddy, being with other women, and there was absolutely nothing she could do about it. And Cassie went through years of misery. I mean, and I hate to say this, a lot of women don't understand when you know a man is already dogging another woman and you still willing to be with them, or you still willing to allow them to control you into staying with them. You kind of sign up for the same thing. I mean, you don't participate in another woman's pain. And I understand Cassie was young and immature and didn't know, but everybody knows Puff Diddy been with Kim for years. So when he started making his moves on her, she should have been putting her up her wall. But at the same time, she was young, and Diddy, if you're not wise, Diddy is very dominant. Diddy is Scorpio. He's a Scorpio male. Scorpio men are very dominant. And if you are a pushover, they have no problem running all over you and making you feel bad the moment you catch on and you decide to defend yourself. They really have a strong narcissistic energy that takes a lot to put your foot down and to call them out on it. That's the other element, getting involved with men who with narcissistic high value men. Also, when you have children from them, you see what all of Nick Cannon's baby mamas are going through. You have to deal with your child consistently feeling left out. He's over here, he's over there, he's pretty much everywhere. Then he has to constantly be on tour, he has to constantly work to take care of you and the other 9 children he got outside of you. That's another thing dealing with a narcissistic high value men. They don't make the best of fathers. And just because you can spend money on your children, it does not mean you're a great father. Some of these men think as long as they kicking out the ducats, that's going to compensate for them not being there. I could be wrong, but I don't think Diddy is a great dad. I think he will give his children money before he really gives them wisdom and knowledge. And like I said, I'm just going to say allegedly, but I just don't get that from him. I'm not saying he does not love them. He does not care about them. But I just believe Diddy is still all about him. He's going to give his kids, and that's it. But he's not going to really give his kids him. He's not going to give them no real knowledge and make them understand, yes, daddy was out here wilding out. I was doing all kind of inappropriate stuff with women. Don't get yourself caught up in this situation because y'all see what's going on with me. He's not going to take accountability for his actions so his children, his sons, could learn from him and not end up in the same thing. I'm sure he's probably lying to them, telling them, hey, it's all a lie. I would never do anything like that to your mom. He's comforting them somewhere and making them believe otherwise. But some other drawbacks of getting involved with the narcissistic high value man, they are highly driven. A lot of these narcissistic industry men are very money hungry. So any opportunity, any business venture, they're not going to turn it down, which means you're very rarely going to be able to spend quality time with him if you're trying to get it to develop into something more meaningful. It'll never be meaningful because you got men like Diddy and like how R. Kelly was. These guys are very driven. They're constantly striving for success. And I think nothing is wrong with striving for success, but I think the problem is some of these men get overly obsessed with successful to the point where success is the only thing that matters. Children, wives, everything else that's important gets placed on the back burner. A lot of these industry men, they become very greedy. They become very greedy. They got to grab at everything. They got to grab on extra businesses, extra opportunities, not realizing that they already got children, and some of them who are in a relationship, they already got women who hardly ever see them. And they will use and these industry men, a lot of them will use their success as an excuse not to have to commit to you. Or if they are in a relationship with you, they'll use their success as an excuse not to have to step up and do more. I would be a better father, but I got to make this money. For y'all to have this lifestyle, I got to go make this happen. I would have been a good husband, but I got all of these businesses going on, and I got too many people on my payroll. They will use their success as a cop-out. And because you don't want to lose that lifestyle, you end up just going along with it. Well, I understand you got to work. That's the only way the bill's going to get paid. He'll tell you all that. There's men with power. They can't debunk everything, but men with money, they have a lot of room to fluctuate like they want. They could always pay somebody else to do their job. They could always pay to get it postponed and spend time with you. A lot of them use their success as a means to escape, having to spend time with you, having to spend time with the children. That's the price of getting involved with a narcissistic high value man. But he'll sit up here and tell you, but you upset that I gotta work all these hours, but how you think you living in this beautiful house? How you think you driving these nice cars? He will gaslight and make you feel guilty about confronting him about him working all the time, because as much as these men be working, and I'm not going to doubt that and say they don't work hard and they don't work a lot, but I'm sure for other things they really want, they squeeze that time in. Do you not realize how many call girls or prostitutes have been with men in the industry? For these men to act like they so busy and don't have time, and They not into that. Whatever lies they gave you to make you feel comfortable and believing they're not capable of ever. Um, it's all game. It's a lot of game. Also, these men have rules and restrictions. And the sad part is they don't feel like you could give them no rules because they the ones with the money and they the ones that are successful. A lot of these type of industry men are very, very biased. Is their way or no way at all? And you have to deal with this. Also, high value men, narcissistic high value men, they are high risk factors. A lot of these guys in the industry, they are loose cannons. Some of them don't learn from their actions. They already got 4 or 5 baby mamas and will continue to have more children, still around here raw dogging women. You got some of them that have a problem with drug addiction or alcohol abuse. And when you have money, it's less chances of you getting rid of bad habits. If they're not, I don't know the point I was making, but if they're not picking up bad habits with drugs and with alcohol, habits of unprotected sex, it boils down to a lot of these men have variety. They get bored with this type of female, and now they want to experiment with this other type of female. Men with money, narcissistic high value men with money, they get bored very easily. They have a one-track mind. You can't keep them entertained for but so long. I don't care how many blowjobs you give them, or you may do the 3-point stance with one leg up and all of that. At some point, they're still going to get bored. Nothing really keeps the narcissistic high value man content for a long time. They get bored easily. They might want to switch up and get something younger, or get something lighter, or maybe something older. They want to switch up their choice. And when you have money like that, money makes you believe that you should be able to explore as many different options as your heart desires, which is also a catch. But that's why a lot of them are messed up. That's why R. Kelly is in prison now. But there's a lot of disadvantages of getting involved with the narcissistic high value men. Men with money are not easy creatures, and for one, they're not trusting. They do not trust anybody, and they especially don't trust women, because we've already boosted their ego by making them think they're God's gift to women, by being fans, by being followers or whatever. And because they have experimented and been involved with so many different type of females, they just don't trust women. They think any woman that trusts that approaches them or whatever, she's only approaching him because of his money and his status, so therefore he will never trust. Also, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I did, but a lot of men in the industry are highly perverse, overly perverse. Some of these men have been with so many women to where they have lost interest in women. They would rather be with men. Listen, I'm going to get deep really quick before I get ready to shut all this content down. But let me tell you something. Men in the industry, you have to realize, they've been with multiple women. Black women, white women, Asian women. They've had all different flavors of variety of sex from women. And especially men like Diddy, who I believe is overly promiscuous and overly sexually demonic. I believe that when some of these men in the industry have had too many women, they get bored with the vagina. And the reason I say that is because, all women are built different and we all respond different to men sexually. But after a while, because you really don't have no love and compassion when you are sexually involved with these women, it all becomes the same. Because you're not sexually involved with these women to please them. You're more so with pleasing yourself. Okay? So what tends to happen is men in the industry who have slept with multiple women, have had sex with multiple women, who have had children with multiple women, women aren't even satisfying them anymore. So you know what ends up happening? Yes, they end up getting involved with other men, because you have to realize when you have overly sexualized yourself with women, meaning you have engaged in physical sex with multiple women, you don't get stimulated as frequently, so now you have to find a new level of stimulation, and that may very well be with a man. Do y'all not think that a man can have had so many vaginas to the point he's tired of having sex with women that he would rather have sex with men? Because he has sexed out. Like you have a crackhead who looks drugged out. You have the sexually demonic perverse man. He gets sexed out. Even after a while, when he realizes the Viagra pills ain't keeping it up as much. When he's finding himself thinking as long as he screws more and more and more women, he'll get that sexual stimulation he needs till he finds out, oh, I see what really turns me on. He takes that one time and get with the man, and he achieves that sexual stimulation from the man that he wasn't achieving from the woman. He then now becomes what's called down low, meaning that he loves to have sex with men, but he wants everybody to believe he's straight, so he is always out in the open with women. And this is how women become prone and vulnerable to STDs. Not only that, STDs, sexually transmitted demons, all of these different soul ties. These industry men, they have had too much of a good thing, and it no longer stimulates them and excites them, so they have to find a new level, and that's where the down DL comes in at. But at the same time, he still wants to be with women. Now some of them will completely cross over and come out, but then you have others, which are the ones I can't stand. I can respect a person who comes full out the closet and say, yes, I'm this is what I chose to be, I'm happy with my life. I can respect somebody who would come out in the closet and admit that they are gay, versus somebody who wants to be seen in public with women, but then you don't mind getting your back blowed out by a man at night. I don't like that. And then you're steadily going around here acting like you're a family man, you're having children from your wife, you're out with your wife, but you having fudge sessions at night with somebody else, with the man. I don't like stuff like that. But see, men in the industry, the problem is they have a lot of money where they could keep people mouth closed. They got enough money to pay these transvestites out here to keep their mouth closed. They got enough of money to pay these other gay guys. They got the money to pay for their own sexual addictions. And I know I lost my train of thought, but it was another point I wanted to make. Yeah, the other point I wanted to make is, a lot of these men have sick fetishes. These industry men who, yes, the ones who y'all think are so handsome, who y'all admire, who y'all have a man crush Monday on. All of these celebrity men that you find so appealing, that you think is God's gift to women. A lot of these men got sick fetishes. Some of these men, love to be with men and women, and you would not know that based on the movie roles they play, based on the music they sing, the music they rap. A lot of people aren't what they make themselves out to be. You have some men that are struggling with their sexual identity, and you wonder why they treat women so bad, because see, they done been with a man and they know they shouldn't miss or desire being with a man. But once you don't cross that line and you have reached that new level of stimulation, you're going to seek to be with the man again. And a lot of these men that's in the industry, they hide it because they don't even want themselves to believe that they are that way. They want to lie to themselves and make themselves think, well, no, as long as I'm with a woman and still around a woman, then evidently I'm straight. That's the lie that they tell themselves. Or they'll tell themselves, well, I'm only having sex with men, but I'm not involved with a man, so I'm not really JY. They're going to find a way to make it make sense. My content is going pretty long, so I'm going to get ready to shut it down. But realize the price of getting involved with a narcissistic, high value man, these men with money, these celebrities, these athletes, these rappers, these actors, these executives, and all of that. This is why God is exposing and exploiting, because it's a lot of these individuals that are being worshipped. They're being idolized. And God does not want his people deceived. He does not want us believing that because a man has money, he's happy. Because a man has money, he does not have dirt. A man has money, he does not have demons he has to battle. That's why God is, it's a saying that sometimes God will put your problems on stage for you to deal with it. Because as long as you can hide it, you will not heal from it. You will not heal from what you hide. As long as you can get on the pulpit like some of these ministers. You can get on the pulpit and preach the word of God, but 8, 9 o'clock at night, you're allowed to go fornicate with Sister Harris, and yet you study teaching the word like you're not, and God is knowing that you're struggling with this issue, and you won't be honest and go to your fellow brethren and say, look, I'm not living my life right with Christ. I'm still fornicating and dealing with other women knowing I'm married. You won't try to get any spiritual. You want to preach the word, but you won't get the words you need or the help you need in order for you to fight this addiction or this demonic curse or addiction that you're struggling with. And what will happen when you keep dancing with the devil, keep entertaining the devil, and God then gave you ample amount of chances to leave the scene or to change your ways. Bishop Eddie Long, prime example. He will put your problem on display. That way you have to deal with it. Since you won't let me help you to conquer this in private while it's small, you want to continue to keep, indulging and entertaining the enemy and doing all these ungodly things. Then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it out there in the forefront and let you get embarrassed. That way, you ain't got a choice but to come clean and deal with your addictions. Or if you don't, what's going to happen is nobody is going to look at you or perceive you the same. So you have to walk a fine line with these narcissistic, high-value men. They're very controlling. A lot of them are very nasty. Like I said, some of them have sick fetishes that you don't know about. Some of these men like to be sexually pleased in ways that would disgust you, would make your stomach turn. But trust and believe, there's somebody out there that don't have a problem doing it. They will pay for it. As long as the price is right, you have people that are willing to participate and give in to the filth and give in to, the demonic activities, But, yes, ladies, be careful about running after these men with money. Yes, we know the luxury is great. Nobody wants to struggle. Nobody wants a broke man. I get all of that. But you have to realize a lot of these dudes that got money, they are a piece of work. Some of them you're going to see been married 3, 4, 5 times, You're going to see a lot of them are going to become exposed and exploited. I think a lot of men in the industry back then was taking advantage of younger women. Even Aaron Hall's baby mother, Velez, I forgot her name, but I've been knew about her having a son and being sexually involved with Aaron Hall when she was 16. A lot of these young women in the industry, nobody wants to talk about how young Beyonce was when her and Jay-Z was dealing with each other, and she had an abortion. Because I think Jay-Z's like 10 years or something like that. He's much older than her. So when he got with Beyonce, Beyonce was a girl, and they kept that real low. But now, fortunately, he married the young woman he groomed, but a lot of them didn't get that chance. So a lot of these guys are going to be exploited. I think this been going on. I think a lot of these rappers, these singers, these actors, these executives, I think the majority of the men in the industry have taken advantage of a younger female. And I believe a lot of them, to a certain degree, to a big degree, got predator tendencies, going after these young women who you know don't know near as much as you, even if they are 18. Let's face it, that's still a child. But the mind of the perverse demon will say, oh no, that's not a child, she's a grown woman, she's 18. Well, why would you still even be attracted to an 18-year-old in a sexual manner? A lot of them are going to make excuses for the demonic behavior, and a lot of them have been doing it, and that's why God is exposing and putting these people's demons on display that they've been hiding, because God has to use somebody as an example to make people understand that just because you got money and success, it does not make you exempt from you being exposed. And I think many, many more are going to come. But yeah, lady, let me know what y'all think more about this content, the price of getting involved with a narcissistic high value man. I so appreciate y'all for hanging in there, even though it took me a while to upload. Spent a lot of time with my family for Valentine's Day, did a lot of cooking and all of that. But nevertheless, y'all, let me know what y'all think about this content before you leave. Please hit that like button. I would so gladly appreciate it. Also, keep in mind, the reason why a lot of my content is going to always be relatively longer than most content creators, because I'm not going to be posting as frequently. So some of my content may be over an hour, maybe an hour 30 minutes. Just FYI, letting y'all know, because I don't upload as often. So therefore, when I do content, I'm going to always go a little over. So just in case somebody be like, why is your content so long? Why you can't just hurry it up and keep it at 30-40 minutes? I'm too busy of a woman to do content as much as I would like, you know. But I'm praying to get to that. So I'm working on some things. But what y'all think it is? I'm going to be reading y'all comments and seeing y'all opinion on this. So anyway, y'all, I'm so glad y'all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank y'all so much for still supporting me, still being a part of my movement. This your girl, your diva and knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Y'all be blessed, take care, and I shall see you soon. Bye.